24th Board of Education Business Meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. Would everybody please rise for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Jonathan Berger.
Here.
Michelle Kaiser. Here. Dave Clifford.
Here.
Mike Ellsworth.
Here.
Patty Polsky is not able to attend tonight. Neil Mahoney.
Here.
And there are no members also unable to attend tonight.
They might be arriving late.
Oh, they might be coming in.
They're a school function. The exits are to your right and to your left, and behind us to our right. Subject 2.1, may I please get a motion that after review, the Board of Education approves the agenda as presented and or amended at this meeting? Mike? Ian? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 3.1. May I please accept the minutes of the March 18th, 2025 business meeting? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 3.2. Can you please accept the minutes of the March 21st, 2025 business meeting, special business meeting? Ian, Dave, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 4.1 is statements and presentations. I will hand over to Superintendent Haddon.
Good evening. We have lots of things in the presentation. So first of all, I came back to a very nice surprise after the spring break when I was here on Monday. I met Mr. Mark Mackey in the parking lot, our transportation supervisor, and he told me that our stop arm cameras had been installed on our school buses. And so they went from a 6 to 9 month wait once you signed the contract to it only took a few weeks. And so our drivers got trained today. We had bus patrol, the company bus patrol, as well as 3 individuals from Orange County Department of Emergency Services, including Assistant Commissioner Rob Doss, who came and spoke to all of the bus drivers today and trained them in kind of how the cameras work, what it records, showed the videos of what it looks like, so the bus drivers were all very excited. It was a really great morning, and they also reviewed the rules of the road. And so there were, things that the bus drivers knew, and they said, "Well, we don't think the community knows that. How do the drivers know that?" And they said, "Well, the rules are in the driving book when you take the test, and ignorance is not an excuse for not following the rule." So one example of something where a lot of people get tickets, right, on a typical 2-lane road, you'll see that, yes, you're supposed to stop both ways. If there's an empty median, both sides of the road are supposed to stop. But the interesting one is that even if there's a barrier, whether it's a grass barrier or an island or a cement block barrier, both ways are still supposed to stop. And so they issue a lot of tickets for this scenario. They also did a slide on the number of citations issued, and they're averaging about 1,500 to 2,000 a month, and they've had about over 10,000 since they started it in September. And that's just in Orange County, in 4 school districts. So that is, and they're excited for the newest one on.
Bless you.
Bless you. Warwick is also joining within the next week or 2. There's already installed now. So I put something out on Facebook today, and I'll also be sending home an email to our community that all of this is in effect and on our buses. So follow the law, follow the law. We'll pick up a study guide.
We're safety first.
We also addressed safety over spring break and 2 other things that have been brought to our attention either by staff or by our police officers. One is about the speed of traffic coming in and out of the middle school in the morning and in the afternoons. And and the police officers asked, could we have a way to kind of slow people down? And so they asked specifically for 2 speed bumps and gave us the locations they wanted them. We went to the facilities committee with that and immediately followed up, and within a month they were in and installed. So those went in over spring break, and the police officers are absolutely thrilled, and said that traffic absolutely has been changed in the morning. People are driving slower, so that's good. The other one is at the elementary school. We have these large open areas where really like a car could drive through, and we had temporary plastic barriers that constantly got blown over in the wind or got knocked over or knocked into. Balls would roll out into the street, and so we were asked to try and install fences, and so those were installed. And you'll see this is with the gate open, and it just slides, doesn't go out or anything, it slides across, and this is when it's in the closed position. And so what we do is we open them in the morning for arrival, and then they are closed for the remainder of the school day. And it just has made a much cleaner line of where the recess playground is, and it kind of forces people to walk over to the main entrance and sidewalk. So, exciting progress over spring break. The board trustee ballots were due this past Monday. We had 2 open seats, and we had 2 people submit filled out petitions for, we had 2 people submit petitions for the open spots, David Clifford and Kevin Holder, who I know is here this evening, so hi Kevin. And so those are the 2 names, and this is the order that they'll be in on the ballot as well. But there are 2 spots and 2 people. At this time, I'd like to open it up to principal reports. Ms. Green.
Good evening, Board of Education members, staff, and community. I hope you all had a restful and rejuvenating spring break. It was a joy to welcome our students back with bright smiles, renewed energy, and even a few in shorts and t-shirts, ready to take on the final stretch of the school year. I'm excited to share some highlights from the month of April. You can see up here, our pre-K students received a special visit from the local dentist to learn all about dental health. With the creative support of our art teacher, Mrs. Emsworth, students turned learning into a hands-on experience by crafting a model mouth using marshmallows, an unforgettable way to reinforce the importance of healthy habits. Our 3rd graders took their state test, a little challenging at first, but we were able to get through it. Thanks to the proctors and the tech team for helping us out through that successfully. We were able to kick off Kindness Month with a school-wide assembly where we defined kindness and brainstormed ways to show it every day. With the help of Miss Arietta and Mr. Shepman, students enjoyed a narrated read-aloud of a little spot of kindness. We launched our Caught Being Kind initiative where students can earn spot stickers for acts of extraordinary kindness. The first sticker earns a prize from the office, but students are encouraged to collect as many as they can because kindness is contagious. At the same assembly, Miss Arietta introduced a powerful service project called Blankets of Hope. This initiative aspires students to reflect on the homelessness and practice empathy.
There we go.
Thank you.
There were 200 donated purple blankets to our school, and our students participated in a kindness workshop, writing heartfelt notes of encouragement that they attached to each blanket. These will be delivered to local homeless shelters and community organizations. At the end of May, 1 student from each class will be selected to personally deliver the blankets on a small trip in a meaningful way to connect learning, compassion, and actions. Thank you. A big round of applause to Ms. Arietta. Earlier this week, our pre-K, kindergarten, and 3rd grade students took a walking trip to Greenwood Lake Community Garden. With the support from Grow Local Greenwood Lake, students planted this year's crop of pea plants using seeds and their soil. And they also, this hands-on science activity directly supports the New York State Next Generation Science Standards for both plant life cycles and ecosystem relationships. A special thank you to Chad Pilleri and the amazing community garden volunteers for making that possible. Our second graders had an exciting trip to the Stone Hill Environmental Center where they explored natural habitats and connected classroom learning with real-world observations, which enrich our curriculum and create lasting memories. Thank you to the Board of Education for your continued support in making these experiences possible, and thank you to the teachers for your flexibility and strength on going on these trips. We are also proud to recognize April as National Poetry Month. Yesterday, students started the celebration of Poem in Your Pocket Day by carrying and sharing their favorite or self-written poems. In return, they earn a sticker or a pin to wear proudly when they share their poem with a staff member who asks. This is a joyful celebration of literacy that helps our students build fluency in expression and confidence as readers and writers. Tomorrow, we will hold a special Arbor Day ceremony in honor of former Board of Education member John Finn. Our kindergarten students will participate in the tree gifting ceremony to honor his memory and the contributions to our school community. Also tomorrow, our second grade students will walk to Winstanley Park to participate in a poetry reading and cherry tree planting in collaboration with the Warwick Valley Gardeners and the Village of Greenwood Lake. Beautiful blend of literature, community, and environmental stewardship. Finally, I'd like to recognize the dedication of our teaching staff. Over the past week, teachers prepared data and notes to participate in individual student progress meetings. These one-on-one discussions demonstrate just how well our teachers know their students, both their strengths and their needs. And especially like to thank our RTI team for coordinating the schedule and making these valuable meetings possible. Looking ahead, we're eagerly preparing for kindergarten orientation for the incoming class 25-26 year, and more exciting spring field trips and the final marking period of the school year. Thank you as always for your ongoing support of our students, our staff, and our school community.
Thank you.
Hey, good evening, everyone. A couple highlights since our last board meeting. I know I talked about some of these things were going to be happening, specifically the start of spring sports. We did get off and running with our spring sports. However, it was not great those first couple weeks. It was like 30 degrees. Actually, right before the break, we had that Thursday. We looked out the window, it was snowing out. So luckily, spring break brought the warm weather, and we hope that it's here to stay. So figured we'd put some nice photos up showing our student athletes participating in baseball, softball, boys and girls track. Today was actually probably one of the best days we've had as far as weather goes, so it was great that all of our teams were actually in play today. Everybody was at an away contest today, so there's a lot more of the season to come, and we look forward to all of their success. Also, we've had, we have clubs that go on throughout the school year, which we typically recognize and comment on. I just wanted to put a few up there today, specifically to talk about. One is the Peer Leadership Club and their work for Earth Day, which was this week on Tuesday. So the slide you see is what we see actually right behind me here in the cafeteria, raising awareness of Earth Day and encouraging students and staff to recycle bottles and cans. So I'd like to thank Mrs. Greenberg for her work with that club, and also those students, because not only did they promote Earth Day, they were outside helping to clean up. I was out there checking out some of the athletic practices, and then I saw a group of students kind of walking the perimeter, and they were cleaning up any trash that they could find. So our grounds crew does a great job with keeping our grounds clean, as everybody knows, but sometimes when you come out of winter, like we all do in our own yards, things find their way to all the far corners. So the Peer Leadership Club did a great job of helping to clean up and make sure that we have our grounds in the best shape as well. The other club that you see up there is Archery Club. That's Mr. Vinelli. Who supervises the Archery Club. So again, that's just another fun and unique opportunity that we're able to give our students here at Greenwood Lake. They got to take advantage of the nice weather as well, get outside, learn not only the skills of shooting archery, but of course the importance of safety when using archery, the bows and arrows. So again, thank you to Mr. Brunelli for that, and it's great to see our students participating in that activity, which is a lifelong activity for them to continue. Also on our slides here, Student of the Month breakfast. Ms. Melo Ramos and I meet with our students each month, and that is our group from March who are all recognized for their responsibility here in the school. Their teachers recognize them. So it's just a breakfast, but it's a special opportunity to let the students know that someone's watching. That's not why they do it, but it's a great recognition for our students. So we always love getting a chance to eat breakfast with the students and have a chance to talk to them, not only about why they're there, but just their student interest in general, and get a little bit of feedback from them as representatives of our school. Also, not pictured, but spoke about at the last board meeting, I said we were in the final week of the Read for the Boulders contest. Thank you to Ms. Barfeld, who's here, for all the work that she did with both buildings, coordinating that, tallying all the minutes, and to our teachers who also collected all those logs and got that information to Ms. Barfeld. But some of the quick stats that she provided, the middle school in total over that time period in March were at 89,991 minutes, which was 1,500 hours of reading. 83 students received a participation certificate. 21 students earned 2 free tickets to the Boulders game. 21 additional earned 4 tickets, and 30 were what's considered home run readers, who won 4 tickets, a t-shirt, and are going to be able to go out on the field and throw out a pitch at a game in May. So that activity has a lot of success. Number one being getting students involved in reading and promoting that, and the second part is getting an opportunity for our kids to go out with their families, go and partake in going to the game, but also showcase Greenwood Lake when those students are out throwing out pitches too. So again, thank you again to Ms. Barfeld for all of that work. As far as other activities that are going on, we dove into state testing, but I'll let Ms. Petrossi talk about that when she comes up next. Other upcoming events, tomorrow marks the end of the 3rd marking period. I feel like every time we come up, it's like we're 5 weeks in, but it is the end of the 3rd marking period, so those grades will be all finalized next week. The parent portal will open up on Friday of next week for parents to see grades, and then we'll be sending the hard copy report cards home on May 5th. Also, a couple other events, our NJHS students will travel to the Senior Center tomorrow. Next week is our big Washington, D.C. trip for our 8th graders. So, yesterday, our chaperones and our advisors for the 8th grade trip met with all the students. I went in and discussed it with them, and everyone has been warned to bring comfortable sneakers with you because there is a lot of walking and it is a full agenda. But all joking aside, it's a great opportunity for our students to go experience all that Washington has to offer, from the museums to the monuments, etc. So we're looking forward to what is always a great experience for our students. And then on May 15th, we will have our NJHS induction ceremony here at 6 p.m. So as Ms. Ring said, as the year continues to go, there will be a lot more to celebrate and recognize. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
I do believe also that even though it's not till June, I know the sign-ups are now for the Laker Kids. They do a garage sale every year, and it's Saturday, June 14th. So if you're interested in buying a table or buying a spot and want to sell your wares, please reach out to Maureen Joseph. Assistant Superintendent Petrossi.
Good evening. I wanted to provide a few updates related to the progress in adopting a new reading program. A few months back, I discussed the State Education Department's shift towards the district's literacy, instruction, and curriculum needing to be aligned with evidence-based and scientifically based instructional practices. A couple of weeks, about 2 weeks ago, districts across New York State have now officially received the formal attestation form that requires us to attest that we are indeed aligned and utilizing curriculum that is evidence and scientifically based. This attestation needs to be submitted to the state no later than September 1st of 2025. All the programs that the district has been researching meet the state's literacy instruction best practices, and in addition to attesting that we are indeed utilizing evidence-based and scientifically based programs, we have to provide them with a list of all the programs that we are using. So that will be coming up. Next slide is that. Okay. Where are we in selecting a program? So the data team, along with myself and our instructional coach, Ms. DiBernardi, have met with all 3 vendors, CKLA, HMH, as well as Bookworms, for a comprehensive presentation of their programs. After we also did a really deep dive into the materials, each of the vendors sent us a plethora of materials to go through and really take a look at lesson plans, teacher instructional manuals, materials, digital equipment, and so forth. We then surveyed the data committee members based on the meetings that they had with the vendors, as well as they're looking at all those materials. And 2 of the questions I have here this evening that stood out most. So the question about which reading program best meets the needs of their students, and 12 of the data team members responded, and overwhelmingly HMH, Interreading, stood out among the 3 that were options of choice. One of the choices was, that's highlighted in purple, was responded by a teacher that teaches here at the middle school and does not teach grades K through 5, but said if they were going to choose one of the programs, that HMH would have been one of the programs, that it would have been the program that they would have chosen. Which aspects, the second question talked about which aspects of the selected reading series do you value most, so relative to the answer to the first question. And you can see the results there. Strong foundational skills of instruction, 58% of the people polled said that was important. Text complexity and rich content, that was 75%. Differentiated instruction and resources, 83%. Engaging and diverse tests, 83%, and integration of reading and writing was also in that 83 percentile. So at this point, even though HMH was chosen as being the overwhelming choice, we still need to dig a little bit deeper. And so we are scheduling virtual and in-person meetings with Monroe Woodbury, who is using Into Reading, and with Minisink, who's using CKLA. We're at a crossroads about Bookworms because none of the data team members were overwhelmingly impressed with the program for just a variety of different reasons. But I'm still going to reach out to, there's no school districts in Orange County that are using Bookworms. They're in Westchester, so I'm reaching out, but a lot of the people are engrossed in state testing right now. So after state testing, that's when these meetings will take place. I'm in the process of getting quotes from the vendors, so I'll have more information of the cost of each of these programs. And then I'm hoping for the month of May, during our board meeting, to be able to have a comprehensive presentation of the programs and which one we narrowed it down to selecting. So, moving
I just
on.
have a quick question.
Sure.
You're meeting with districts that don't use HMH?
That already use HMH.
Oh, they already use
Monroe
Minisink.
Minisink uses CKLA, and Monroe Woodbury uses HMH Into Reading.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity to speak to both of the assistant superintendents of curriculum instruction, and they gave me some tidbits, which I'll share next month, about each of the programs and the pros and cons. And one school district, Minisink's been using CKLA for a few years now. Monroe Woodbury is in their second year of inception. So they gave us some tips on it as well. So, and then the teachers and the data team would like to meet with their teachers and their coaches and talk to them about the ins and outs of it as well.
Great, thank you.
Moving right along to state testing. So day one of the New York State ELA testing proved eventful, as schools across the state, including Greenwood Lake, faced issues with the grade 3 through 8 computer-based testing system. In Greenwood Lake, students experienced difficulties logging into the platform due to secure browser issues, which led to testing being paused for the day. Special thanks to our teachers who showed a great deal of flexibility and patience during that time, and also to Ms. Mela Ramos, Ms. C, and Ms. Van Kuren, and the principals who were overseeing the testing on that day. Fortunately, testing resumed the following day. While the system was slow to allow student logins, all students scheduled to test were ultimately able to complete their assessments. As a result of the initial delay, day 2 of the testing and makeups were pushed back by 1 day. New York State Ed apologized to schools, students, and families, calling the situation unacceptable and placing full responsibility on its testing vendor, NWEA. NWEA has assured New York State Ed that a permanent fix is now in place. To accommodate lost time, the testing window has been extended by 1 week through May 23rd, so that's for all the tests. Testing will remain computer-based, and New York State Ed will ensure that NWEA provides the necessary support to the schools. The chart displayed on the screen shows the remaining assessments that will take place district-wide. Students in grade 5 through 8 took their science assessment today without a hitch, and although I am hearing it was very lengthy, math testing will be the 7th and the 8th. And then we start with our NICES lab, which is for our English language learners, and wrapping up with Regents exams towards the end of June. Thank you. Any questions?
No, thank you.
At this time, Assistant Superintendent for Business, Anna Barrow, will come up and speak about the budget that is on tonight's agenda.
Yes, thank you for letting me walk you through the presentation of the 25-26 budget superintendent's recommendations. The proposed budget reflects the continued commitment to maintaining strong educational programs while remaining fiscally responsible. Our budget process began with a rollover of the current year's budget as a base. We focused on aligning expenses with district goals. This is the final stage as we prepare for the upcoming public hearing on May 13th and the budget vote and board member election on May 20th. As shown in this timeline, this has been a collaborative process involving workshops, committee meetings, and board input across several months. As we finalize the budget, several items remain uncertain. On the expenditure side, we're waiting for outcomes of the teachers' contract negotiations. As Ms. Petrossi pointed out, the cost of the new ELA reading program and several BOCES COSA costs. On the revenue side, it's unclear if New York State has met the final day for the budget. They had an extender till yesterday, and I'm not sure what happened today. But it seems this situation mirrors last year, where we had to approve our school budget prior to receiving confirmation of state aid. We're projecting several key additions for the upcoming year, including contractual increases, mandated services, and investments in student technology. Here is a breakdown of the new expenditure categories totaling $1.7 million. This includes increases in tuition rates, increases in CTEC enrollment, one-to-one device rotation for kindergarten, and boiler service contract. We're also accounting for special ed, summer school transfer to special aid program. As we compare the current year, the total proposed budget increase is approximately $1.79 million. Instructional spending is the largest area of growth, reflecting our ongoing investment in teaching and learning. Transportation sees a reduction. This is due to no new bus purchases are planned for the upcoming school year, as per the fleet replacement schedule. General support and undistributed expenses see moderate increases aligned with contractual and operational needs. Shifting to the revenue side of the budget equation, our revenue strategy includes maximizing the use of reserves to offset increases. Interest earnings are expected to remain strong due to higher interest rates. We are also applying unassigned fund balances to cover rising costs and lessen taxpayer burden. Overall revenue also increases by $1.79 million over the current year. State aid is expected to rise slowly, though the final numbers, as I said, are pending. The biggest jump is in our use of fund balance to maintain service levels while minimizing the impact on Green Lake taxpayers. The district is allowed to levy up to 3.93% to comply with the property tax cap levy limit. However, to minimize the impact to taxpayers, the board is proposing a 2.25 increase. This translates to approximately $114 more annually per average household, or just under $10 a month. This plan reflects the district's commitment to quality education. Our next steps, the public hearing will be held on May 13th here at the middle school, and the budget vote and board election is on May 20th at the elementary school from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Thank you. Any questions?
Thanks, Aaron.
Just a couple more things from me, just to review items on tonight's agenda to highlight. One, we have our middle school nurse, Laura Roach, has submitted her intent to retire this June, and we are very excited for her. Similarly, we have Anne Moreau, our assistant superintendent for business, who intends to retire this December at the end of the calendar year. Celebrate these two ladies and speak about them at our forthcoming tenure and retirement celebration that we do on an annual basis. So, celebrations forthcoming. Additionally, we are proposing a Give Back Snow Day on the Memorial Day weekend on Friday, May 23rd. This will create a 4-day Memorial Day weekend for staff, students, and community. Memorial Day is a big event. Additionally, our analog clocks are in need of replacement. And so as a facilities committee and as a full board, we reviewed several options. One is replacing the stand clock, or replacing the clock, but also at the same time improving classroom communication, thereby improving safety and security. If we simply replace the analog clocks 1-for-1, we would pay out full cost because it would just be a building upgrade and we would not get any state aid money back. If we do the speaker system, then we would get state aid back and up to 50 to 60% because it's security based. So the facilities committee recommended that we go ahead and move forward with the new speaker system clocks, and they will also be able to scroll messages across them and be able to communicate back and forth between office. So that is on tonight's agenda, and that is all I have to say.
Thank you. Okay, Ian will go right into the district liaisons from Chester since Patty's not here.
Sure. So there's a few things coming up tomorrow. Friday, April 25th, and Saturday is a spring musical there. And then on Tuesday next week, there's a high school spring concert. And of course, like everywhere, there's a prom on May 15th there for Chester. And the next, actually coming up, the 26th will be the day of their high school graduation.
Okay, does anybody have anything for Will? No. Sorry about that. Patty usually covers that. Michelle, Nisbet?
Nothing for this, except just waiting for the state budget.
Guessing Mike's the same thing.
Well, at our last meeting, we had a very, called a lively discussion between education law in New York State as opposed to the new administration in Washington and how it's not aligned. So it's going to be very interesting for the next couple of years to see how this works out. You know, we're just going to have to rely on our legal advice and follow it closely so we can kind of tiptoe through and kind of land mines we might get laid in front of us. But it should be interesting.
Nothing on buses?
No, this is nothing at all.
Facilities, I think Sarah covered it with her presentation of what was done here at the middle school and the elementary school. Unless I missed something.
Just a couple of agenda items tonight, but they're related to the fire department.
Audit committee? Nothing. Budget committee, that was, just went over the budget, so that's covered. Policy committee? PTSA? Don't see anybody. Does anybody have any updates for PTSA?
I know that they sent a flyer out asking for donations for they do one big appreciation event for all staff in the entire district in May, and so I know they asked for monetary donations when they do buy lunch for everybody.
Make sure everybody donates, please. Support our teachers. Village of Greenwood Lake, I know Ace, Larry said she was going to be here. I know there's also a meeting. Is she here? No. I know there's also a meeting for the 8th grade graduation that she's, I don't know if she's attending or not.
I did speak to Mayor Howley, and he will also be attending the Cherry Tree Arbor Day event tomorrow.
Also, the Little League Parade is rescheduled for this Saturday, but it's supposed to rain again.
Perfect. Good job, Mike. We're scheduled Saturday.
This is not going to snow this
We'll walk around the building.
Okay, that's it. Subject 5.1, correspondence to the board. The Board of Education received formal communication emails on March 28th and April 5th. No board action is required based upon the content of the letters, so no public discussion nor agenda items will result. However, the board did want to acknowledge that we did receive communication. So, thank you. Subject 6.1, privilege of the floor. Before we all jump in here, let me just read a little statement here. It says just.
We know it. We know it.
Public expression at meetings shall be encouraged, and the following guidelines are intended to promote an orderly procedure for public comment participation. The public will be given the opportunity to address the board regarding items of interest and concern during the privilege of the floor section of each monthly regular board meeting. Anyone wishing to be heard must sign in on the public comment form prior to the start of the business meeting or before speaking. Speakers will be asked to state their name before addressing their question or statement to the board. Speakers may be limited to 3 minutes each in their comments or questions. Speakers are to have the right to speak without interruption and are to address the president of the board. Unfortunately, that's me. Comments regarding specific personnel will be ruled out of order and referred to the superintendent. Speakers will not be recognized for a second time until all who wish to speak have been given an opportunity. The board may suspend privilege of the floor if it is determined that continued discussion on a particular topic will prevent the board from completing its scheduled business, or if one of the above guidelines are not adhered to and continued participation is deemed to be disrupted. Now, what's not on here is we will not answer any questions, but we will note those questions down, and we will have a formal response if it's required. Okay? Thank you.
That was a lot to read. Okay, Rosemarie DiBernardi, GLTA co-president. We acknowledge the submitted resignation of Anne LaRoe from her position as business administrator with a deep sense of respect and appreciation for her service. but also with a significant concern for the impact her departure would have on our district. Anne has been an invaluable member of our leadership team, bringing unmatched experience, dedication, and professionalism to her role.
Just bro, you
Yep.
can't mention anybody's name, sorry.
All right, so I won't mention her name. Her guidance, fiscal expertise, and tireless commitment to our school has played a critical role.
You already stated her name, so you can't really
Well,
continue
you're
to
accepting her
discuss.
resignation today.
Okay, so I'm just going to end with this. Because of the value to our district, we respectfully urge the Board of Education to reconsider the acceptance of the resignation. We believe retaining Anne in this role will serve the best interests of our students, staff, and community. We hope there is still an opportunity for open dialogue that can lead to her continued leadership within our district.
Thank you.
Maureen Joseph. It is our understanding that this district is under a state-mandated Seneca Falls rate for all students. Is that true? However, it is important to note, per guidance from the New York State Education Department, the use of this formula is required only as a basis for determining tuition rates for non-resident students. SED further clarifies that student districts may negotiate this alternative tuition rate through formal agreements, such as long-term negotiated amounts, as long as they cannot surpass the maximum allowable rate calculated by SED. Historically, in Greenwood Lake, this rate has been subject to negotiation. Given that precedent, we respectfully ask the district tonight, why are you choosing not to pursue a negotiated rate? Has there been a change in policy or external conditions that has influenced this decision? What specifically is driving us to revisit the Seneca Falls rate, which is significantly higher than the current rates? As most people in this room know tonight, using the Seneca Falls formula was one of the reasons posed for ending our relationship with Tuxedo High School. Why? Because that was becoming a financial burden to the Greenwood Lake School District. So we ask you, why are we returning to that formula? Considering our enrollment in both high schools are decreasing, the amount calculated using the Seneca Falls formula, we are nearly tripling our tuition. Furthermore, after 10 years of successful negotiations, why are we unable to come to an agreement with Warwick or Chester for the upcoming year, or shall we say years? Were there specific obstacles or changes on either side that prevented a continuation of these agreements? Additionally, from the budget presentations, they said that the mandated Seneca Falls rate for all students, there were two rates, non-resident tuition for regular education and students of special education, grades 7 through 12, which begs the question, are we paying tuition for 7th and 8th grade students who receive their education here in Greenwood Lake Middle School? If not, why are these two grade levels included under the tuition rate changes? You also state in previous contracts that they did not allow special education rates for students in special classes, that being a 15-1-1, a 12-1-1, or an 8-1-1. However, to the best of our knowledge, we do not currently have any students placed in a 12-1-1 or an 8-1-1 at either Warwick or Chester High School. We would appreciate clarification on how this detail factors into the proposed budget and whether it has material impact on the rate being applied. Lastly, we would appreciate further insight into the financial implications of this change, specifically answering these questions. How long has the district known this transition would be necessary? How long can we realistically sustain this rate under the current financial conditions? Is it fiscally responsible to rely heavily on our savings to absorb the increase? At what point might this begin to affect staffing levels or program availability? Are there anticipated staff reductions or cuts to programs in the near future? These are significant, and I mean significant, concerns for many of us in this community. And we hope that tonight you will be able to provide transparency and reassurance as we look ahead in the future. Considering that the Memorandum of Agreement for the high school tuition was signed on December 9th, 2024. How has there not been a discussion about this increase and its potential impact on the Greenwood Lake community? In light of this, we respectfully request further clarification regarding the district's intent behind adopting the specific rate for all students. And additionally, we would like to ask whether or not the Greenwood Lake School District has explored the potential for alternative tuition arrangements, particularly those who might serve our students and our community better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lori Sanford. I am the GLTA Vice President. We would like to follow up as well on a list of concerns that were previously submitted to you by Ms. Haddon. Despite allowing ample time for review and response, we have yet to receive any acknowledgement or reply addressing the issues that were raised. Our concerns were shared in good faith with the intention of fostering constructive dialogue and promoting transparency, accountability, and progress within our school community. The lack of response is disappointing, and it undermines our trust in the process. We respectfully request that our concerns be addressed promptly and thoroughly. We believe that open communication and timely action are essential to maintaining a healthy and effective relationship between the Board of Education and the community it serves. We look forward to your response and a clear outline of our next steps. In addition, as I'm sure you all know, we are currently in negotiations for the teacher's contract with the district. Despite our best efforts to bridge the gap between district priorities and the Teachers Association's proposals, we have still not reached an agreement. Every essential proposal we have presented, including adjustments to salary schedules, snow days, professional development days, and even shorter work days and work years designed to help offset the salary increases, has been met with a firm, and I quote, hard no. This categorical rejection applies even to items where we believe there is room for compromise.
It is true.
It is our hope that with the board guidance, we can break this standstill and secure a fair, sustainable contract that honors our teachers' essential work while preserving the financial integrity of the district at the same time. We are prepared to meet with you in person at your earliest convenience, and we hope that you take us up on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, but in the future, we would really not like to discuss what you guys discussed prior to us knowing, and it should be discussed.
We didn't discuss anything.
No contract.
Yeah,
Well, we are negotiating a contract now.
we cleared with our LRS and we told we were allowed to say these things.
Okay, perfect.
So it's nothing said specifically. We are in the middle of contract negotiations, and we are being met with hard no's from the district. You are coming to the table with failure to negotiate in good faith. That's the facts.
No, you already spoke, so thank you.
That's the facts.
All right, go ahead.
Good
Beth.
evening. My name is Beth Buckley. I am a member of the Greenwood Teachers Association Executive Board, and I'd like to speak to our use of our excised snow days. So we have 4 snow days that we did not use this year. While we appreciate the decision to give back the Friday before Memorial Day, we're seeking clarification on why the remaining 3 unused snow days have not yet been addressed. We respectfully ask the board to consider communicating the district's plan regarding these unused snow days. We believe it is important for staff, students, and families to be informed of any potential changes to the school calendar in a timely manner. Clear communication regarding the use or non-use of these days would help everyone plan accordingly as we approach the end of the school year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Hi, my name is Amy Valentoni. How's everyone today? I just have a question about 9.12, accept Moody's investment service profile. So apparently there was a report done on April 10th, 2025, is that correct? And if so, will that be made public about, the financial standings of our school district? Is that, am I reading this correctly?
I mean, a FOIL request can be made.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask.
So yeah, you can request it.
Okay, so I can foil it. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak before we move on? No? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your concerns for noted, and we'll review those for you all. Thank you very much. Moving along, subject 7.1. May I please get a motion to approve the Orange Ulster BOCES 2025-2026 administrative budget as presented? Mike? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 7.2. May I please get a motion to cast one vote each for William Boss, David Eaton, and Edwin Estrada to the 3 open seats on the Orange Ulster BOCES Cooperative Board as presented. Ian, Dave, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 8.1. May I please get a motion to adopt the 2025-2026 school district budget as presented? Mike? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.1. May I please get a motion to approve the financial reports for March 2025 as presented at this meeting? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.2. May I please get a motion to approve the property tax report card for submission to the New York State Education Department? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.3. May I please get a motion to amend the 2024-2025 student calendar as presented? Mike? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.4. May I please get a motion to execute Shaw, Pearlson, May, and Lambert agreement as presented? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Sorry. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.5. May I please get a motion to certify compliance of the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 as presented? Mike? Ian? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.6, may I please get a motion for approval of the Washington, D.C. trip and approval for transfer of funds as presented? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.7, may I please get a motion to approve a UPK classroom materials and supplies appropriation transfer as presented? Mike? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.8, May I please get a motion to approve appropriation of funds for district-wide clock and speaker for security upgrades? Mike? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.9. May I please get a motion to award Tectonic Engineering the request for proposal as presented? Dave? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.10. May I please get a motion to approve capital project number 16 and number 20 as presented? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.11. May I please get a motion to approve agreement with Orange County Department of Emergency Services as presented? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 9.12. May I please get a motion to accept Moody's Investor Service Profile as presented? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 10.1. May I please get a motion to accept with regret the resignation with intent to retire Ann LaRoe as Assistant Superintendent for Business as presented? Dave, Mike, any discussion? Thank you, Ann, for all of your years of service, and I hope you look forward to your retirement. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 10.2. May I please get a motion to accept with regret the resignation of Laura LaRoche as school nurse with the intent to retire as presented? Mike? Ian? Any discussion? Again, Laura, thank you very much for your years of service. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 10.3. May I please get a motion to accept with regret the resignation of Julian Marcano as custodial worker as presented? Mike? Dave? Any discussion? Julian, thank you for your service while you were with the Green Lake District. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 10.4. May I please get a motion to appoint Jacob Hookmood as custodial worker as presented? Mike? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Long one tonight. Sorry. Subject 10.5. May I please get a motion to appoint Tiffany DiMattina as long-term teaching assistant substitute? Michelle? Mike? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 10.6. May I please get a motion to appoint Elizabeth Sabatelli as long-term leave replacement teacher as presented? Michelle? Mike? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 11.1. May I please get a motion to accept the CSE, CPSE recommendations as presented at this meeting? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Subject 12.1. May I please get a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss medical, financial, credit, or employment history of any particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of any particular person or corporation, and to discuss the negotiations conducted pursuant to the Taylor Law involving the GLTA unions. Mike, Michelle, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. There will be no public comment taken after the executive session. The next Board of Education meeting will take place on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the middle school gymnasium. Thank you. That's it. All right. Enjoy your evening, everybody.